Alabama entered 42-1 at home since the start of the 2013 season. Only loss coming against Ole Miss in 2015. Went on to win the national championship that year. First possession of the game. Let's start hot. Let's start right. Tua Tagovailoa to DeVonta Smith, 74-yard touchdown, and this would be a theme.
No question, reoccurring theme from DeVonta Smith, and the same could be said for Ole Miss and their defensive issues. Where is the middle safety? Middle safety needs to stay in the middle of the field.
Tagovailoa, 80th career touchdown response before it ties the school record with AJ McCarron. Early second, Tagovailoa. He's in for the touchdown.
Took a shot.
Breaks the Alabama career touchdown record with his 81st touchdown, and Alabama takes a 14-10 lead. They were down 10-7 after one quarter, but they're not going to be down anymore. Later in the second, Tagovailoa. Let's go back to that
Make a tackle.
guy.
Make a tackle.
24-yard touchdown. It's 24-10 tied. Keep it going. Later in the second, Tagovailoa. Just keep feeding DeVonta Smith. This time,
just make a tackle.
This looks similar to the last touchdown.
Great block by Jerry Jeudy, something no one is really talking about. The blocking down the field has been phenomenal all year for Alabama. Look at the block. Okay, good miss, but look at Jeudy putting in work. Look at him.
Yeah.
Got two people right there. That's huge.
That is
football.
Huge.
Where is the middle safety?
Where is the middle safety?
Where is the middle safety?
I'm not sure. He's on the sideline?
When the talent is in favor of Alabama, don't make it easy for them. Come on, coach, draw me up a scheme. Just give me a middle safety just to be able to have body position to prevent Tua from attacking the middle of the football field.
Smith, 221 receiving yards in the first half.
That was the best pass all day because that wasn't bad coverage. You look at where the ball was placed. You look at Smith going up to get it at his highest point. That's a good, honest football play.
4 receiving touchdowns.
I mean, not really a lot of separation, but look at the ball placement. That's
Beautiful.
A big league throw.
That is. It's big time.
That's a big league throw.
DeVonta Smith ties an SEC record with his 5th receiving touchdown, breaks Amari Cooper's school record for receiving yards in a game.
Man,
274 receiving yards on 11 receptions, 5 TDs. Tagovailoa, 7 total touchdowns, 6 passing. Sets the school record for a single game and ties AJ McCarron for career touchdown passes. He also set the school record with 86 touchdowns responsible for. A record-setting day as Alabama wins it 59-31. Ole Miss plus 37.5. The over does cash at 62 and a hook. And Alabama wins again at home, now 43-1 at home since the start of the 2013 season. Let's welcome in Gary Danielson, who called this game on CBS. He joins us each and every week here on CBS Sports HQ. And Gary, my oh my, DeVonta Smith, what did you see from the young man this afternoon?
Well, I feel like friends with you guys now since we had spent some time together last week. So, yeah, you know, we've talked about this. It's been one of my themes for a lot of years. You know, football is the only sport where you have to put in 3 years before you can go play professional. You know, baseball you can go, basketball you go, hockey you go, golf. But football you got to stay. And Alabama's got 3 NFL receivers playing for them, so you better do everything right. And if you don't get some pressure on the quarterback, who's also an NFL player playing college football, he's going to eat you up. But, you know, you have to be sound. You have to tackle when you can make the tackle. Witness what Notre Dame did last week to Georgia. As good as they are, you can't help them. And that's really what, you know, what happened to this Ole Miss team. Started off right with the first touchdown. They throw a 8-yard slant, and it turns into a touchdown. But, you know, Ole Miss just doesn't match up talent-wise. And then when it starts to flow here, you know, when Tua gets on, they're just too tough to top.
You mentioned their fantastic receiving core. How good is DeVonta Smith in that group?
Yeah. You know, I feel everybody was talking in the draft that, you know, there's no doubt Judy's going to go top 5, and Ruggs with his speed, he's going to go top 10. And all of a sudden, DeVonta Smith might have played him into, like, I was wondering if the Alabama coaching staff was going, let's stop throwing to him. He might want to turn pro after this season. He's getting so many balls. There are people in the building that feels DeVonta Smith long-term might be the best of all 3. He's a very committed football player, very unselfish, catches the ball probably as better than the other two. He's got great, strong hands at the point. And you saw his ballet moves catching at the top of the route when he caught the post pass. He is just a guy in motion that you love to watch. But it's hard to separate all three. And Tua, his ball placement sometime is amazing, even to a guy like me who played a lot of years in the NFL. I just marvel at what he can do.
At this point, a year ago, we felt like this offense was one of the best offenses we've seen in a long time. But looking at what you're seeing now, Gary, what differences do you see compared to 2018 Alabama's offense compared to 2019?
Well, I think Steve Sarkisian has brought a little bit more, Brian, to the table. Last year they were a really good RPO offense, but really didn't run any of the play-action, deeper crossing routes that Steve has brought. You saw that touchdown to Forrester to the tight end when you watch NFL ball and played it. The bunch routes where they crisscross and put the man in at the beginning, at the top of the triangle for the hook route, that is right from the New Orleans Saints playbook. Those things are so hard to stop, and the Atlanta Falcon playbook, and the San Francisco 49ers run that. So you see guys that be coming to the table now for Alabama. The biggest difference, though, we got to be honest, I just wonder what things would have been different last year if Tua wouldn't have got hurt. And with the level he was playing last year, they must keep him healthy when they go into the back end of their schedule. When they're playing at Auburn, if they get into the SEC championship against Georgia, and if they play into the playoffs against teams like Oklahoma, Ohio State, and Clemson, you got to have a healthy Tua.
Yeah, they play at Texas A&M in a few weeks. Texas A&M barely got by Arkansas on Saturday. You mentioned Tua Tagovailoa, keeping him healthy. He throws for 6 touchdowns in this game, Gary. Third straight game with 5 or more passing. In terms of Alabama and its offense, is this as good as it gets? Can they show us any more? Is there anything else they can work on at this point?
An offense, probably not. There's pretty much what you see is what you're going to get. They don't have a breakaway back. They have a pounding back. He picks up blitz as well. He's good in the passing game. Brian Robinson's going to give you a little bit of those tough yards to run. But, they don't have the guy that can take it to the house from the running back position. The wide receivers, they've got 4 of them that can do it. So they're a little different. Now, defensively is a little different story. They're still very young at inside linebacker. In modern football, just as we watched Ole Miss here, you put those tall wide receivers up on any man coverage. If you throw it to the back shoulder, the receiver, it's not really fair to call it a 50-50 ball. It's almost a, 75-25. Offense has the advantage. So when you play Alabama, you got to bring your offense. It's going to be a high-scoring game. But, Nick Saban doesn't like to look at it, and he's upset. But this probably is what it's going to look like when Alabama plays the top teams. It's going to be a high-scoring game and a little bit of frustration from the old coach who built his reputation with defense.
Alabama's now won a record 86 straight games versus unranked opponents dating back to 2007 as they win again at home against Ole Miss. Gary Danielson on the call here with us post-game. Gary, thanks for the conversation. Always appreciate you making time for us.
All right, my pleasure, guys. Good talking to you again.
I feel pretty privileged there that Gary called us friends.
We're homeboys
great.
now.
We're homeboys.
Yeah.
I like that.
Homeboys.
That's pretty cool because Gary's one of the best in the business. DeVonta Smith, you play in the NFL. Who would you compare him to, maybe now, past or present? Maybe who do you look at? Because they've had, how many good receivers they've had at Alabama. I mean, we talked about Georgia last week. I was running back. Look at what Alabama does with the wide receivers.
His body size a bit slim, but extremely, gifted with his feet. Quality route runner. I probably would say a Marvin Harrison-like. Not a big guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But extremely quick, fast when need be, but a sure-handed quality route runner. That's who DeVonta Smith is, because when you look at all the receivers they have, he might not be the most athletic wide receiver, but he could be the best. You know what I mean? Because he catches everything. He understands how to create separation from defenders.
Well, he had himself a career day, 11 catches, 274 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns. The 5 touchdowns ties an SEC record. The 274 yards, the school record. There's really not much more you can say about Alabama at this point, because we're all looking towards November 9th when they play LSU.